Tomorrow, we raise the frost in the morning, otherwise mainly sunny with light winds and a high near 65. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it's time for a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, features, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole Ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Old School on a Wednesday. Back in full effect, Austin Norman and Jay Foreman are with you here for the next 3 hours on the program. Old School is always brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop, 3 in Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. I'll tell you what's going on for Fired Up Thursday coming up here later in the program. Jay Foreman, welcome back. Nice to see you. How are you?
What's going on?
Oh, lots going on. It's game week. Nebraska's still looking to get bowl eligible. Fascinating comments from Matt Rule regarding his coordinators. Then we heard the coordinator's response yesterday. And we'll get to that. But first and foremost, we have a Cash Blitz keyword to give to our audience. So get your phones out. Get ready to text 508-777-1000 or visit theticketfm.com. What you can do then is you can click on Cash Blitz on our website and enter the following word, spend. S-P-E-N-D, spend. Text it to 508-777-1000 or click on Cash Blitz on theticketfm.com. Enter the word spend for your chance to win $1,000. We'll have words for you Thursday and Friday as well. All right, Jay. Matt Rule says he would have liked Nebraska to run the ball more, make a concerted effort about it. We've heard that before. And then he calls his defensive coordinator's game calling vanilla. We heard from Dana Holgerson, who said, yep, head coach is right. I gotta do better, establishing the run to start the game and coming out of halftime. Got to be better at it.
Yeah.
And John Butler said he got punched in the face as a defense, is essentially what he said. Minnesota hit the one big play. And his comment was, I'm not a sheep, but I had a sheep moment. We're not sheep, but we had a sheep moment. I let one play dictate how I called the rest of the game. He's saying, what John Butler is saying is, he didn't meet the moment. He didn't meet the challenge. He backed down from Minnesota and called a game scared.
That's not what he said. Is that what he said, quote unquote?
That is what he said.
No, I'll read.
I was sitting there. I wrote this one down specifically because it stood out to me. John Butler, as part of a larger answer, ended up saying this. He said he didn't punch back after Minnesota's long run the way he normally would. You're not a sheep, but you have sheep moments. That's a quote from John Butler to his press.
What's it mean when you have a sheep moment?
It means you're soft. It means you're scared. It means you're a follower. It means you go with the crowd.
Dang. I don't know. I'd have to ask him about that. That's a little suspect.
That is what he said. That is what the man said. He said that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I think, as a coordinator, you're trying to. I don't know if he's on the field or off the field. I don't know that.
He's down there. He's on the side.
He's on the sidelines.
As is Dana. They both are.
Okay. Well,
actually, all three. Eckler is. So.
Yeah, well, you can see him jumping around, but no, I'm just playing. He needs to be down there because he has to, do this thing. But sometimes I was just getting at. Sometimes coordinators are up in the booth and they can't really feel the vibe, so so they can see things but can't feel it. I was thinking about that, but I wonder, if some, the hard part about coaching is, you could be in the right front, and I've said this, and then next thing you know, you get gashed on you're looking, and you're up there, and it's like, okay, well, you get scoop blocked at the 3, it goes behind the play, which then makes it impossible to set the edge. You kind of set and kind of lose the edge, right? You kind of, you have somewhat of a 50-50 outcome there. And then I think didn't fill right there, but then it's hard to fill because the 3 didn't make it. Probably didn't get over to flow, over top of that to get downhill to kind of in survival mode, right? Because you lose immediately at the point of attack.
Across the line of scrimmage. No,
but at the most vital position is the 3, and you go behind, you have to make that play. You have. I mean, you
can't not make that play.
You got to make that play.
Not a choice. You make the play.
And see, here's the difference. And I wish I could have this up. I mean, I don't have access to Nebraska tape, and I could probably get screenshots on it. Or we're on remote. But so if you're in a 3 technique, if I'm remembering correctly on this play, so text line, correct me if I'm wrong. 3 technique is your head up to outside shade of the guard. So here's the difference. J.J. Watt made a killing on this backside, right? But the play's going away from you, and so instead of trying to cross his face, you can go behind him and get flat down the line and make the play chasing the ball. Because they had a guy named Antonio Smith at a 5 technique that was a heck of a 5 technique. So then what he was setting the edge, he was burping the tackle. Or if he was going against the tight end, he was knocking that guy back. So it was impeding the progress of the initial attack away from him. Now, flip to Nebraska. You're running, they call it a mid zone. It's inside, outside zone. It's pretty much, we used to call it choice zone. Whoever messes up, that's your choice to go there. That's really what it is.
Pick on them.
Right. That's what, you read it. Really, who started that? Was the Colts. They just ran it out of a spread formation. And you have Adrian James. Trust me, I know.
You're familiar.
Yeah. So the 3 technique gets scooped by the onside guard, or he goes back. And if you don't kind of ricochet off that center and make that play, you got to be like Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald could do that, right?
DeForest Buckner could do that.
or whoever.
Chris Jones.
That you're just not. I mean, you're making that play. You're just kind of like slowly but surely like spreading that the hole in the alley for that runner to get through. And if you don't have that pre-planned and have linebackers that you practiced all week, that probably how you're going to play this play, it's going to be a very, very tight fit. Well, the tighter you fit, the bigger the hole becomes, because now you're able to get outside the initial gap faster. So now if it was initially, say, a B gap run, it's already C to the edge. And if you get cut off over top and you miss a tackle, and then the alley filler, who's usually coming in that alley tight, and you got to like veer, you're usually coming downhill, say like at a 45-degree angle, and you got to kind of run like I call it a half moon.
Banana.
Yeah. It's no different than bad, but it's a recipe for disaster. Sure, we could have made that tackle to save it, maybe a 15-20 yard run, and it does have some lasting effects, obviously with Coach Butler saying it, but then also it comes on the players, to really understand, all right, we gotta pony up. Here's an example. I always talk about the championship years weren't perfect. We were perfect when we needed to, and we had the ability to get it going and get it together. We played Washington State, and they busted off a 60, 70. I mean, I'm talking about untouched. Like literally handed off, and running back was rolling too. I was like, dang, he's pretty fast. We in for a game. And we were going back and forth. Then we snapped out of it. Now, mentality-wise, we showed up ready for a fist fight. Reality-wise, we weren't playing at our optimum level. But when you're showing up with your mind right, you eventually get your skills and your production up to snuff in order to get that game. And so it's unfortunately for them, sometimes, the football gods will sometimes expose you, or you will be exposed to some of the things that maybe you've been told. You only heard it. Now you got to listen to it. The best way to handle that, or, from my experience, is literally, eat it, really, come to terms with it, and then really work diligently never to feel like that again. Because that's a nasty feeling, because now it's double time, and the copycat league. You don't want the reputation that you can line up and just run over you, and you have a breaking point, case in point, and we'll see at 5:00, because Northwestern is not. I gotta dance around my words now, because all of a sudden every time I say that Nebraska should beat like they're not.
Don't
good.
say the words "put" and "your" and "mortgage" and "on it" together, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I know it's bad when I have Daryl Thompson, who's probably one of the best runners in Minnesota history, and Ron Johnson, and and Brian Cohen and Mike Cohen, who played at Minnesota, but they worked for Minnesota up in the foundation. They were like, who was this team that showed up on Friday? Like, how did you lose to these dudes? So I wasn't the only one. I think Northwestern, they're not like overwhelming, but what they do is they're really, really well coached, and they get on you man to man, and they play with excellent pad level. So what that means is they're going to test your discipline. And a lot of times with physical games, playing against physical teams, they're at this level, they're just not going to teams are not going to just line up and just bowl you over. They really test you mentally, your discipline, and are you disciplined enough to stay in the fight as long or more than your opponent. And that's really what it came down to. That's what that play was. Because here's where the difference of the disciplines. I guarantee you, when they ran that play in practice, you didn't get double scoop. Two guys at the point of attack didn't get reach. We call it scoop, but you didn't get reach, right? You probably had a little bit tighter fill in the alley, right? You probably got off blocks a little bit better, right? Well, maybe you approached it like a throwaway down, just kind of like, all right, we're just getting, let's get to third down. Well, you learned a lesson. Every down is important. Whatever the lesson is in that whole thing, it's important.
You're supposed to learn a lesson. Well, we are going to see against Northwestern if Nebraska actually did learn. Not the exact same circumstance, right? You get an extra day to prepare instead of one less day. You're at home instead of on the road. All that stuff plays into it. But
for a little bit.
But my point overall is this. Nebraska gets another chance against a team that's going to want to do some similar stuff to Minnesota. Maybe some of it in the same way, maybe some of it in different ways. But what we saw, Jay, over the last 3 weeks was Nebraska not learn lessons from Michigan State and Maryland that then bidded against Minnesota. The hope is that Nebraska's learned lessons, but it seems right now, before seeing Nebraska play Northwestern, like Nebraska took the wrong lessons away from the wins. It's time for Nebraska to take the right lesson away from a loss and flip the script again.
Yeah, that's the difference between being outcome based and process based.
Yeah.
And that's really when I talked about it. Like one of the hardest weeks of practice we had was probably after that Washington State game, after that Missouri game late in the season, because we had to tighten up on some things. Now we're obviously, good enough and had enough experience to, dig yourself out of a hole. And so whether it's a learning lesson, and that kind of gets you shocked and embarrassed into, okay, I got to coach is right and all this other stuff. I need, I've been slipping. Or you got to really revamp your process, which is how you go about your day-to-day business, and you can't worry about the outcome. That means you got to be you got to be in the moment. This is the most important play in practice. This is the most important meeting. This is the most important lift. This is the most important extra meeting outside of what's mandatory. I'm going to do, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then this will be something that you can look back on and say, okay, this is where they really learned, and this is the maturity of the team, of the leadership, so forth and so on. It's a turning point and all what, X, Y, and Z. Or it could be, here you are 3 days after, well, the game was Friday, like almost essentially a week after, still, dealing with the, outcome and the reaction of what happened, a week ago. And then, we got a game against Northwestern. We come out of the, the tunnel walk and everybody's hype. It's 11 o'clock. The weather's nice and all that. Well, the home crowd is only going that lasts about a drive or two.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to create your own noise.
The motivation versus discipline.
Yeah, and that's just because I want to. And it should be, that's that's motivation and discipline. But the more disciplined you are, the motivation lasts longer because you keep going back to it.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? You keep running away from that feeling. So it's almost like, they say, don't put your hand on the stove or whatever it is. It has to be a lasting memory. And you have to be, have some humility to deal with it. Like, obviously I don't really pay much attention to what's being said because I think the most important thing is what you do. And sure, you got to kind of, obviously match them up. Right. Because I know what it's like to say something because I've been in those places and then everybody hangs on every single word. And that's not even kind of like what you're thinking. I'm almost like, okay, how did you prepare? How did you come out there? What is your teammates like? What are you like? Are you willing to push the right buttons to get the ultimate outcome? That's the win. Because that's all that matters. Because what some like athletes don't understand, you can be very stat oriented. I need tackles, this and this. But you could be on a team. You could look at the Patriots when they're really rolling. Their defensive players didn't really have overwhelming stats. They were just really, really good.
Well, their team stats ended up overwhelming if their individual did.
You're right. The wins and losses. But those wins escalated those, I wouldn't say like, okay, so if you look at the amount of tackles, say like Zach Thomas had versus Teddy Bruschi. Sure, Zach Thomas outperformed him year in and year out. Teddy Bruschi made some huge plays. And then when he's being played, when his team is playing late in the year, they're talking about all the things he does to be a winning and is obviously Super Bowl champion. He was a great player, but what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus, like for instance, I'm down in Houston leading the league two years in tackles. Whew. Game 6 there, week 16. That's just empty.
It's formality,
right? But then you get on a team, say you play for the Patriots. I would have given back half of that tackle. Say if 1 year I had 200 some tackles, I'll have 100 tackles so I could go to the AFC Championship. You know what I mean? Because then you get a guy like that, or like Willie McGinnis, right? He's known for having huge games and sacks in the playoffs. Now he's potentially getting in the Hall of Fame. Maybe he has a year where with the Patriots, he has 4.5, sacks, which is not really that much, but it's his job to set up Vrabel or Seymour. So you got to really get back to that and and all that stuff. And maybe, I know they, have a, players only meeting and all that stuff. Sometimes
They
you
did,
get
says
some stuff
Dylan
out-
on Sunday.
Sometimes you got to get your stuff off your chest.
I think Matt Rule got some stuff off his chest as well. We talked about it a little bit, but that was the most pointed he had been toward his coordinators since he's been at Nebraska. He had some stuff
He's
to
only
say.
been here 2 years.
Oh, but he's had chances. He's had chances to say stuff about or to his position coaches in the media and his coordinators. Didn't really do it. He definitely did this last time. And that's where I really like your analogy of it's the hand on the stove. Okay, this was Matt Rule in a controlled-ish environment, taking Dana Holgerson's hand, taking it off the stove real quick. John Butler, give me your hand. Take it off the stove real quick. It sounded like he felt burnt by that. It sounded like, there's a question about Ja'Cory Barney. Do you have to make a more concerted effort to get the ball into his hands? Yes. And that was that. Vanilla game plan. Vanilla game plan. I'd like us to run the ball more. Things that Matt Rule has said, which is where if you are the coordinators and if you're Matt Rule, this is where being a manager of a team, a leader of a coaching staff, is more art than science. Because Matt Rule is not going to dictate to Dana Holgerson, you must run the ball 53% of the time and pass the other 47. John Butler, you must blitz on 60% of the plays. If you're only at 58% at the end of the game, even if the situation calls to play back, you need to send blitz, meet your metrics, right? That's stat oriented. That's result oriented. This is an art for Matt Rule right now in how he needs to approach getting his message across, delivered, and then ultimately executed on Saturdays. Yeah. Because you go hire Dana Holgerson not to try to rework him into your image, Matt Rule. You'll get him because he's Dana Holgerson. He has a proven track record of success as an offensive coordinator and a play caller. Now, maybe you said the right things to get him in the door. Maybe he said the right things to get and keep the job. But at some point, you got to have that real conversation. What are you actually about? Is it what I'm about? Is it what I think is best for this football program? If you're Matt Rule, maybe letting Dana Holgerson cook is the answer. But if Dana and Matt are not philosophically aligned, at some point, Matt Rule might have to make a tough call and say, you know what? You're a great offensive mind. I view things differently than you do. You're not getting fired. I want to go a different direction. Same with John Butler. John Butler, I really liked your aggressive mindset. You haven't brought that these last few weeks. You said your defense found something. In your own words, in the press conference, John Butler, you were better when you abandoned the screw it mentality. And then you, 1 week later, go away from that because you give up one long run. It's a moment here for Matt Rule to learn, how to manage his staff and how to lead it, because you don't want to take those guys out of what they're comfortable of doing. Matt Rule isn't involved in the nitty gritty of play calling, and I don't think he wants to be. Otherwise, he would be right now. But how do you find that line between micromanaging, making sure your vision is being carried out the way you want it to do because you think, it's what's going to make you more successful, but also staying out of the way and trusting the guys that you hired to make those decisions for you, guys that you trusted because of their track records, make those decisions in the moment.
Yeah, that's the part of coaching the staff and nurturing the staff and understanding the outcome sometimes of humans that get in the moment. Humans have emotions, and when you call plays, you're in the moment emotionally or whatever, and it's no different than I always go back to Jerry Gray. Whenever he get mad, he calls Spike Ford. It was essentially a zero blitz. Well, you do that against Peyton Manning, it's house call, and it happened.
Unless you get home,
but you're not getting home against a guy that's throwing the ball 1 second. In 1 second. Right. When you got a Hall of Famer over there and Hall of Famer over there, it's a lot.
Put my boy Reggie in the Hall, dang it.
Yeah, and two rookie corners. So there's other ways around it, but I think it's more of the point of, say, hey, first of all, when you go up there and play like Nebraska played, everybody has to do better.
Mm-hmm. Play calls didn't lose Nebraska the game.
Yeah, but they didn't help. Everybody has to do more, and everybody has to. Everybody's got to coach better. Players got to play better. On that stuff, and that's what your job is as a coach is to come up with even a better game plan. And no matter who says it to you, you should, that should be on your mind anyways. Nobody should be comfortable with going up there and embarrassing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the biggest point. And then if he wants what he wants, then you got to find what he wants in your playbook and shape it, and then get more continuity from offense, defense, special teams, and that's how you do it. Because you're going to want you can't have a hurry up offense and a conservative defense, and then kind of pick and choose your special teams. They all kind of got to be strategically placed or kind of aligned.
There's a magic phrase for that.
What's that called?
Complementary football.
Generally, but that changes at times during the game. And
but again, that's the feel thing.
Yeah,
the art.
And you also have to work. Here's also what people don't understand is like, and this is why it's so important when we do these black shirt breakdowns and we really look at some of the plays, the 2 or 3 plays that precede an explosive play, or the sneaky first down or leaky yardage, that kind of adds up over 3 quarters, is because if I'm a coordinator on the defense and I see the offense struggling, and I need to, maybe I'm, and just natural, I gotta probably be a little bit more conservative, because if I overextend myself, then now the offense is in even a deeper hole. Flip the side. If the defense is struggling, the offense has to get out of their box, and that still is complementary football. So you got to really put all those emotions together and have constant communication. And then obviously you want to run it by the head man, but then also you want to operate within the team's game plan. And I'm sure they get together, say, okay, this is how we're going to beat this team. This is what's going to go. And then, hopefully attack, with your best ability.
And then if you're a player, go make a play.
Which ultimately is the biggest thing. Minnesota didn't do anything fancy. They out executed, and like I said, now if I've heard where Nebraska hadn't played against a bunch of 2 backs and all of that. I think I saw somebody I think it's Michael Rose-Ivy. He does a really good job of kind of like putting a science project out there and stuff. 2 backs, like, okay, well then now you're going to get that against Northwestern.
Mm-hmm. What's you going to do about it?
Well, what I'm saying is, so now you should be more, prepared for it. And, it's not like you got to go from Northwestern to the old, Jeff Brown, Purdue, right, where now we can't even really show that we adjusted. Now we got to
keep that lesson in our back pocket till Iowa comes.
Right. And then you're playing Iowa after you played the old school Northwestern that threw it out. You know what I mean? So right, now you get some continuity. So you expect Nebraska to play better. But I think this thing with this team and being at 5-2, number one, you need to understand you're 5-2. All right. So you had one hiccup, right? Gave one away. Now you have an opportunity to go get it back, become bowl eligible, and really put yourself in your sights. Get yourself back on track. And you can't think about what could be until you handle what has to be, and that's you have to play well Saturday. You have to win this game. You got to prepare to do so. You have to be willing to do more than what you've done before. You have to have thick skin. You have to get out of your emotions. You have to be a better teammate. You got to do all these things. There is no tiptoeing in the cold water. You got to jump in, and everybody's got to go for it. Sure, you can be mad and all that, but you're not going to go back and change that in Minnesota effort or who played well, who didn't. You just got to do what you need to do to, play well come Saturday.
Can't change it for Minnesota. Can't change it for Northwestern.
And that's the great thing about it. You're glad it's not the last game. You got to sit on that for 2 months or whatever.
Got to sit on it for about 5 minutes. We'll be back to Old School after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the all-new Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide the smooth energy to get you through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com. lincolnwayofdoing.com.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Bonsall Pool and Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool and Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back, Austin Orman, Jay Foreman on Old School. Brought to you, as always, by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Don't forget, as well, you can be a part of the show on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, 402-464-5685. Big B, Jay, says this: doesn't it seem as though we talk about this every season, about the fourth or fifth game, as to where the identity of this football team is? I will go first, and I'll try to set you up for this. I would say we're having more questions about identity regarding Nebraska football in the last 10 years, really, since Nice Mike, because there's been so much change. Because in the previous
I think Mike
30
Riley
years,
had an identity.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
and-
But he also changed coordinators,
Well,
which
that
changed.
was not his choice.
It was not, but I'm saying, I mean, program identity and on-field identity are a similar but different conversation, right? So you can even say Nice Mike had an identity, but
they should be aligned,
right.
But well, and I would even argue that Mike Riley's identity was exactly what they wanted. What's the old buddy that hired him? What's his name?
John Eichhorst.
Yeah. What's the other dude? The YOLO dude? The Harvey?
Oh, Harvey Perlman.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
was Harvey there for that? Or is that Hank?
Austin?
Okay.
So I think he had that was identity, and then the whole thing, and maybe it ramped up more with Frost just because his words were distinctly different from his actions and the way they practiced and all that. And I think the identity thing comes up when you lose the way Nebraska lost by a team that really just 3 yards in a cloud of dust and played good defense and really tested your discipline. That's where the questions come up, because Minnesota is just Trump tighteners, and they really tightened down on that identity because they were at a athletic deficit and all that, and then they played, they had a magical night, or they just played at a higher rate that than Nebraska. As far as like the identity now, and you're trying to compare, and I'm not making excuses. Nebraska should have never lose that game, right? I think Nebraska is the better team, or obviously better players, or whatever you want to call it. Is that Minnesota's farther along in this identity process and who they are, right? But I think Minnesota's identity was already in that program long before PJ Fleck got there. There was some of the identity within the program at Indiana that people don't know before Signetti got there. He didn't take over a cesspool, or like a bad,
took over a bad team, not a bad program.
A bad team that had some bad luck and lost like one first rounder, Michael Penix Jr., two other guys that was drafted, and lost some guys to the league, like McFadden and all those guys. And it was the whole COVID thing and all that lack of support. So then everybody starts to compare. And some of the comparisons are fair, and some of them aren't. And you got to work towards that. And then everybody has to pull towards that. And you got to stick to it at the most crucial times.
When it gets hard, you have to stick
right.
to
And
it.
it's hard this week. This is the first. Like I said, this is the first time I think a lot of these kids have faced any athletic adversity, meaning you are getting challenged right now. Now, you physically got challenged Friday, right? So that's probably your first time. I mean, I'm sure before, but now you're getting challenged right now.
This is the first time it's being talked about big, loud in front of everybody.
You're getting challenged right now. A lot of these guys are getting challenged right now by the words and actions that they had in the offseason. When you and there is a purpose for it, right? And then whatever their purpose is fine. But what I always said this. When I used to go to family reunion, I was a real little kid, early young kid. There's two things you don't do. Like, the most arguments was over who was making a potato salad and whether it was good or not. And if you made potato salad or macaroni and cheese and it wasn't up good, then you just got kicked out of like the older aunts club, right? Now they'd argue and they'd fight, but then they'd always come together later on. And then that's where the pettiness came out. And that's where they always, had receipts, right? Of, Uncle Otis and what he did down at the Elks Club and all that. So that's where it all came down. So what my point is, football players via social media are the pettiest pats of all time. They take notes. So the best thing to do is to make sure everything you want comes to fruition. Now, how do you do that? You stick to your process, you have your plan, excellent discipline, and then you have another gear. that you can always go to. But you gotta like this game, like with this team, is more mental than physical. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's more mental getting out of their own way. More mental dealing with this. Is the first time a lot of them, you gotta think, like if you just came here in the portal, they don't start school in like February, right?
I mean, late.
Yeah, January.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
February. Your first 2 weeks, you just kicking it, right? You just up there like getting an apartment, going to get, going to Nebraska Furniture Mart. You do it, yeah, you got a month off, right? Then you just lifting weights, getting your arms big. So this is the first time you probably like have felt embarrassment in a long time. Athletically.
And you better feel embarrassed.
Well, no, they do. And that's fine, and that's good. They need to hurt some. But then now you have that unique process of not totally burying it, but always just making sure you forgive yourself, but you never forget. That's the biggest thing. You get what I'm saying? You never forget it. You forgive yourself, and the best forgiveness is a change of actions. But you got to get to the process of getting on Northwestern and understanding by no means can you expect a team not coming here with the same. First of all, they got the same record as you. They have the same goals for you with this game. Their coach, I can only assume, is preaching. We went into a bigger, better, louder, more intense Lions den and got a coach fired. Then we doubled up against an up-and-coming Purdue team, shut them out. We're packing our defense. We're packing our discipline. We're packing our physicality. Rinse and repeat. On the flip side, you've already dealt with whatever you had to deal with on Sunday. Now we're moving on to Northwestern. But every time you do something, when you walk on that field or go in the weight room or whatever, you don't forget that feeling after this last game, Minnesota game. That will lead you to actually want what's coming on that other side. Bring me your best shot. Because you would know your best shot is better than theirs. So bring it on. And so it's all like a mentality shift. And you got to get there. And sure, you can go to I'm sure they got people you can go in there and they can talk to you. At the end of the day, you got to look in the locker room and say, listen, that ain't good enough and we're going to go fix it. It don't got to be pretty because it ain't going to be pretty. It's going to be grimy. But at some point in time, there used to be a saying, are you a man or are you a mouse? We're going to see.
It's the we'll see part that I think is gripping Husker Nation with intrigue right now because...
Well, that's with every team.
Well, the hope is that there can be that mental shift. And again, we're still year 2.5 for Matt Rule in the middle of year 3. Is that enough time to build the culture, identity, whatever buzzword you want to throw out there? Maybe, maybe not, right? Matt Rule came in and said, no, these are all my guys, whether you're with the previous administration, previous coaching staff, or with me. But this is where we're going to see, because if Nebraska hadn't been, to your point, tested like that with that level of physical or mental adversity yet under Matt Rule, just because of the circumstances, you don't want to give him a pass, but it's understandable.
Yeah, but
if they've never faced a situation like that, if they've never faced adversity like that before.
Last year, they got blown out on national TV against Indiana. Trust me. No, they got embarrassed, 56-7.
But that's different.
No, it's not. They got physically beat.
You can convince yourself it's different because of what Indiana's done now. But you also knew Indiana then was better than Minnesota was.
You can lie to yourself and tell you it's different. It's not. And Indiana got after you physically. They got after you mentally, and they got after you execution-wise, and you got got over your skis. The only difference is
Indiana's good.
Take that out of it. The only difference is this. You felt like that was going to be remedied because you answered the bell in the moral victory the next week on the road at Ohio State. So you say, okay, we learned from that. Now you got the offseason. You got another, obviously Dylan's older and all that, all that, just the factual stuff. But every year, every team and is going to face a come to Jesus moment. Come to Jesus moment. If you want a great example of it, is Alabama left for dead. First of all, they got physically whooped against Florida State, an inferior Florida State team.
Who got up for their Super Bowl, it appears.
Player to player, right? They got worn out. to the point that they were questioning guys that should even be on the team, let alone be at Alabama. And they were questioning their coach whether his heart was pumping the real stuff or Kool-Aid. Was he soft enough? They said soft. Okay. A.J. McCarron called him to the carpet, said the team was done, all that.
The meeting stuff.
Well, they were done, left for dead. Yeah, and he even predicted it. Yeah, they'll get up for Georgia because they seem to always play good against Georgia. It's kind of saying they played against a lot of these guys in high school. Well, then they doubled down against Tennessee. And if you look at Kalen DeBoer now, his approach, he was challenged.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The dude coaching right now is not the one that coached early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So the players that are playing this week, you better put on your Superman cape come Saturday.
Okay, so if Minnesota isn't the first time that Nebraska's faced that adversity, if Indiana was the first time, I get it. There are new guys on the team this year compared to last year. You had the older DNA, and I understand that, right? Is the fact that Nebraska had, your ties and your Nashes on defense, your Bullocks, your Giffords, was that the reason? Do we give Nebraska a pass because it's a new team for not handling adversity well? Because if Nebraska, hasn't faced this adversity before, then we're curious to see how they respond. Are you confident that there's enough of the program DNA left over from last year's team to this year's team that makes you confident that Nebraska will respond against Northwestern? Not that you hope they do, not that you want them to.
I don't deal on hope.
Nor should you. Hope is not a strategy. But either Nebraska's been here before with Indiana, which would lead me to believe that Minnesota shouldn't have happened, or Nebraska hasn't been here before, and we're about to learn something new about this team and program.
I mean, you'll be in this situation every season. That's how North Dakota State is made a living. Going down to Kansas State, going to Kansas, you know what I mean, and beating the brakes off them. Because those teams that were Power 5 at that time didn't take them serious. Everybody had to learn a hard lesson. Now, obviously, Minnesota is a team you should never get off the plane in Minneapolis and not take them serious.
And not be ready to play.
Number one, because of the history.
Mm-hmm.
In the long history of Minnesota's been playing this way since Glenn Mason.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't new. Jerry Kill took it to, and then obviously he got sick, and then PJ Fleck is like, all right, well, I'm just going to just add on to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you know who they are. They're tough kids. They're big. They feel like they felt like they're one or two plays from going to college football playoffs last year. So they feel like, or at least he made it seem like last year's team didn't feel like they were that much different than Indiana based on a few plays. Now they probably weren't, but in their mind. So Nebraska is gonna. It's not about whether I got confidence. There's come time in your career at times that you have no choice. Absolutely no choice.
Here we are.
This is a game. And you know what? You should expect that. Now here's the thing. Coming out the tunnel, there's no doubt. All right, second, third, fourth quarter. That's what I want to see, because that's what them dudes are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's what the most important thing is. Can you last? Do you got the stamina? And that's the most, and are you willing to, when you have that little glimmer of kind of natural, habit of turning intensity down, can you check yourself based on hand on the stove? Let's turn it up a little bit higher.
TBD, Nebraska Northwestern at 11. We'll go to break, wrap up hour one of Old School after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Get geared up for savings like you've never seen before during Elway Days. Their biggest sale of the year runs October 14th through the 18th, when every red tag machine is priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Don't miss out on these epic savings. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at the 27th and I-80 location.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock. in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Short one here, wrapping up hour one of Old School. Austin Norman here. Jay Foreman will return again briefly. We'll talk to Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald at 4:30. DP will be in with me to kick off the 4 o'clock hour. But let's get to our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line here over the course of the next couple of minutes. Eric, Unmasked Texter, really appreciate you guys chiming in. 1671. Nebraska can beat Iowa, then the Minnesota loss would be forgiven. Maybe, but I think part of the issue for Nebraska potentially, and Tom Chattel and I talked about this a little bit on Monday evening at the Husker Football Hour, is that there's no reason for Nebraska not to take Minnesota as seriously as it takes Iowa. I think plenty of Husker fans are on board, the majority with them, of Iowa being a rival. Nebraska gets up for that game. It's not like Nebraska always plays well. Credit Iowa for being a tough, physical, solid program with good players that it puts into the NFL draft. But the point, the overall takeaway, I think, is that Nebraska needs to treat every game with the same urgency as Iowa. Needs to treat every game with the same urgency as, Colorado in the first half last year, right? Yes, all games are created equal. Yes, there are games that are different than others. But Minnesota's kicked your tail enough if you're Nebraska that there's no reason for you to underestimate them for any reason, for you to not treat that game like a Super Bowl. You can't put all your eggs in the basket, and it's not like your season's over if you lose it, because here we are. Nebraska loses to Minnesota, and they're 5-2. But there's no reason that Minnesota should take this game more seriously than you. Maybe for Husker fans in the program, the Minnesota series isn't one they took as seriously when they entered the Big Ten. But if you haven't had the wake-up call now that Minnesota treats that game like it's different and you're not, that's on you at this point. You got to match, if not exceed, Minnesota's intensity. I'm not saying go full Bill McCartney, and not wear maroon and gold and not use the letter M that week like he did, no red in the Colorado building. But holy cow, some sense of urgency would go a long way. Match the energy, match the vibe. Otherwise, this is going to continue. And I think Husker fans would say that that's unacceptable. 2271, yes, appreciate the thoughts. We talked about that a little bit on the drive. Nick and I did earlier today, and then Jay and I touched on that briefly as well. 1508, Nebraska is the team you get off the plane with, don't take seriously, and still win. Kind of the inverse of what we were talking about with Minnesota. Either every team really, truly gets up to play Nebraska, or maybe Nebraska makes other teams look that way. I don't know which is which. I don't want to believe that Nebraska treats games differently. I want to believe that Nebraska treats every game like a big game and is up for every opponent. It's human to not be, but it does sure seem like, other teams play well against Nebraska. And either that is a mental advantage or it's a physical advantage, or, maybe it could be both. Maybe it could be both, a mental and a physical advantage. But I think Husker fans and talent evaluators would argue that it shouldn't be a physical advantage. So it must be a mental one. At least there's some credence to it. 5162, if you can't get hyped for the $5 bits of broken chair, nothing can get you hyped. Oh, I don't get hyped for the $5 bits of broken chair trophy. I'm hyped to play Minnesota, though. You need to be. It's a game that deserves your attention. 6169, would things feel different if Nebraska would have gone into Minnesota as the underdog rather than the favorite? No, I don't think so, because you still got manhandled, and especially this Nebraska team. Sitting at 5-1 going to Minneapolis, say they were a touchdown underdog instead of a touchdown favorite, you'd be looking at Minnesota maybe with a little bit more respect, but I don't think Husker fans would excuse the way that game looked, even if Nebraska, the football team, was an underdog heading into the game. There's no excuse for how bad Nebraska looked. You can rationalize, you can justify. I've tried to give, half-hearted explanations for why Nebraska looked the way it did. But at the end of the day, you got outmanned. To a man. Plain and simple. Up and down the roster for 60 minutes. Didn't do anything about it. Couldn't do anything about it. Either way, it's not a good look for Nebraska. Only putting up 6 points, allowing 24 to a team that struggled to reach that before. Cubs crew, appreciate you texting in as well. 0739. Not sure, but we'll certainly keep diving into that as the situation progresses. And Mark, really appreciate you chiming in there and listening. Appreciate your thoughts here on our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Big shout out to the great folks at Sartor Heyman Jewelers down at Pine Lake. And then, of course, the outlet just about a block away from us here at 12th and O. Big shout out to Rick and his crew at Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We'll go to break. We'll bring DP in for the first segment of the second hour of Old School. Evan Bland joins us at the bottom of the hour next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their big fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, areas of frost this morning. Otherwise, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze, the high near 66. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, the low around 38. Tomorrow, areas of frost in the morning. Otherwise, mainly sunny with light winds, and the high near 65. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Baumgars has a loyalty shopping event this Saturday. Loyalty Rewards members can save $50 on their purchase of $200 or more. You heard that right. Spend $200 or more on any merchandise of your choosing in the store, so no gift cards, and you'll save $50 instantly. The $200 spend is pre-tax and cannot be combined with other discounts or offers. Not a loyalty member? Just sign up today. It's all happening at Baumgars this Saturday only.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their big fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we are. It is hour 2 of Old School. Austin Orman here, as promised. DP in the building. DP, hello. Happy Wednesday to you.
Happy Wednesday. 4:07 local time. Austin Orman. 4:07 p.m.
To be precise.
68 degrees outside.
Whew, beautiful day. It was 35 when I walked out this morning.
68. Traffic's flowing up down O Street. Both directions. All go. All things go.
Green lights.
Green lights everywhere.
Except for the red lights, because it's important that we do have some order as a society.
Chaos everywhere.
No four-way stops, no roundabouts here in downtown. We got good old-fashioned street lights. We also got 3 places for you to stop for certified Piedmontese beef. 3 locations for the Mercado in Lincoln and 1 up in Omaha. Learn more at themercadobutcher.com. DP, first things first here. I want to get to wrapping up a conversation that Jay and I were having. And I think it really gets summed up with Jim on YouTube. Every team always gives Nebraska their best shot. Number one, there's no reason for Nebraska not to give any and every team its best shot. You know, you hear some of the excuses about the cross-country travel, the short week. It can be a reason. It can be an excuse. But, does Minnesota take the Nebraska game more seriously than Nebraska takes the Minnesota game? That's been a fair question, I think, to ask. And without us being in the walls, we'll never know. We heard the head coach's opinion on that. But at the end of the day, in your Nebraska, either teams always give you their best shot because the name Nebraska carries some weight and it still means something to beat you, or maybe you're just not as good as you think you are, and it's not other teams giving their best shot. You're just making them look better because you're not as good as you think you are.
There's a street adage that says you are what your record says you are. And at 5-2, you're both things. Like you're a 5-win team and a 2-loss team. Now you can individualize the wins, the 5 wins, give greater value to the 5 wins, or any of the 5 wins. You can give greater value to the 2 losses, the way you lost, etc. You can go back to the time under the program, right? You can judge the program. Judging the team is simple. Judging the program is a different conversation. Most people who are playing in today's Big Ten doesn't know old, glorious Nebraska football. They don't know it. Never saw it.
They don't even know the bullies of the Big Ten that were on the Sports Illustrated cover when Nebraska switched conferences.
Listen, the dads may know, the granddads know. But the dads may know and may have told a story or two. But the young man from the various parts of the country who follow social media and follow the name players, the players that are doing what they aspire to do. So you're in the NFL, then if you have to pay attention to the bulk of the players who came out of Nebraska and who play on Sunday are not dudes. They're guys, right? They're guys, but they're not dudes.
What they call Jags, just the guys.
Cam and Levante David. Like those are the, you go, oh, dudes. Everybody else is a player. Like you're a player and you can be a good player. So if you're in Athens, Georgia, or Tallahassee, Florida, or Denton, Texas, or Salem, Oregon, you don't know of Nebraska football the way Nebraska fans think of Nebraska football. So I don't know that there's a particular thing to undervalue. That's bad coaching, first of all. It's also bad character and bad integrity to say that I'm going to give more value to one than the other. I coach. I was taught early on, I'm my biggest enemy. I'm my biggest foe. I'm my biggest rival. And if I do what I'm supposed to do at the level that I practiced or committed to, then I'm going to be fine. Whatever the result is, I did everything that I could do. It's only if you're not doing everything you can do. If I need to whisper to you, hey, Austin, that's the dude that used to date your girl. You shouldn't need any other motivation other than the fact that you were just trying to be the best Austin anyway. The moment I add the other thing, I've taken it and tainted it. Right? I've given you the additional thing that shouldn't have been necessary in the first place. Austin, go hit threes from the corner. Austin, give me a move off the dribble. Austin, have understanding of spacing. Austin, have dribble drive, get to the right point, apex the defender, make them make a decision, rebound, defend, pick your spot on the floor, take away, all the things. None of that has to do with your opponent until it does. And then Nebraska comes to place. No, Nebraska is a 5-2 team. You give them credit for being 5-2. I just listened to Coach Braun in his interview, and he said, "Listen, they're skilled at the perimeter. They're skilled their skill position players are super talented. But we work from the line back. We work from the line out, and that's how they're going to play Northwestern football. We'll play Northwestern football. They're not trying to play Nebraska football. I'm not sure we know what Nebraska football is. I heard you speak to that earlier. Culturally, if you're afraid of Nebraska, what are you afraid of? Exactly. What would be the thing that you would lean and go, well, I don't know how we defend this. I don't know how we stop this. No, because you've got film that says that they're stoppable. They're not Ohio State. They're not even Indiana. They had an opportunity to put themselves among this conversation of Michigan and
USC
and USC, but no, and Minnesota. The top third of the Big Ten Conference is a different group of 6. Nebraska is firmly entrenched currently in the middle six of the Big Ten Conference. And give them respect because it's Big Ten Conference football, and that's what you do. You just give people respect. Simple. But more than that? Why would I give you more than that? Hadn't been earned. Hadn't been earned.
Dan on our Starter Human Jewelers text line says Minnesota fans stormed the field after the game. This is what it means to beat Nebraska. You can talk all you want about culture and facilities and fans. At the end of the day, you got to want it more than they do. Embrace the smoke. But again,
that's not what they said, though. That's not what they said. They were dealing with the number next to the name.
Yeah.
It could have been Meatball State if they were 25 in the country and you've been pitching and selling that you can beat top 25 teams. You need to beat a top 25 team. It didn't matter that it was Nebraska. You think the kids there who rushed the field was like, no, it was from Minnesota. That was for them beating a team that was ranked in the top 25. Now, we know.
But I do think it helped that it was Nebraska because I think it means something to their head coach.
I don't. I think it was the selling point to beat a top 25 team. For Minnesota to say that we are worthy of a top 25 team, it didn't matter. If that had been Oregon at 25, they would have had the celebration. If that was Maryland at 25, they would have had the celebration. If it was Illinois at 25, they would have had the celebration. Tell me, in the great respects, Minnesota football more about Minnesota or more about beating Nebraska? No, that was about Minnesota football. We played.
It needs to be. I agree that it probably was more about Minnesota, but I do think there's an element of Nebraska that made it a little extra sweet.
I don't know what that is, and I don't know why that's necessary. Nebraska can get if Nebraska went from the same thinking and got caught up in all that sort of thinking. That's why they got their butts kicked.
Why they're where they are.
That's why you got your butt kicked because you didn't focus on you. It ain't got nothing. It had nothing. Nebraska had nothing to do with Minnesota, based on what they were saying. They were laughing. You can tell me all the respect in the world. They were laughing. It was like Oprah giving out sacks out there. You get a sack and you get a sack. And they stood at the podium and said it. It was amazing how easy this was. This was remarkable. This was ridiculous. They were laughing. He said, I looked around. You had a sack. He had two. He had one. Man, everybody was sacking. Because that was what they planned on doing. That was what they drilled on doing. That's what they were skilled in doing. I don't think it matters. We get caught up in the stuff. That's some fan stuff. As a player, you put your hand in the dirt, man. What the guy say? Fourth quarter, somebody leaning, get 300-pound dudes leaning against you. It can't be about the jersey, man. You got to have some heart and some integrity and some guts. It's got to be internal. Stop.
But to your point, I think before too, I mean, it shouldn't take that extra push, because it should be respect to everyone, nameless, faceless, all that. But sometimes you're human. And sometimes there's that jersey across from you that gives you a little something extra.
Don't care.
Whether it's right or wrong.
Don't care.
That's part of being human.
Don't
is
care.
That it happens.
I'll say it 100. I don't have competitors. At nothing I do, I don't have any competitors. I'm not competing with nobody but me. I do prep for me. I don't do less prep when it's Austin or when it's Jay. I do the same prep to do sports radio. If I'm writing a book, I'm writing the book to write the best book. If I'm giving a TED, it's to give the best TED. If I'm doing business, I want it to be the best business. It can be based on what it's there for. I can't go, you know what? It's Lincoln. I don't have to. It's not ESPN. I don't have to fight at that level. What would that say?
It say that you're result-oriented, if not process-oriented.
Yeah, listen, man. Nebraska's problem, I'll keep saying it. I'll screw you from rooms. Nebraska's problem is Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
In the two losses, it's Nebraska. The opponent was irrelevant. It's Nebraska. You know what? Either you didn't coach it, develop it, teach it, or learn it, right? Or execute it. Those are the things. You can go through no matter who you're playing. If Nebraska blocks well, tackles well, and kicks the ball well,
they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. It doesn't matter who it is. But you got to get some pride in the individuals up there. The big dudes up front have to have heart. The quarterback has to have heart. The coaches have to have heart. There has to be some integrity built in this thing. That, you know what? I didn't go out here and walk into a building and be out-coached and out-prepared. What? Where's your pride? That's a pride, character, and integrity thing. That's not, it's Minnesota. And look, the moment you bring Minnesota into it, You have devalued your own work and your own system.
And why would you do that?
Why would you do it?
Let's head back to our starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Switch gears a little bit. Drumstick, random question. Who's the best team in the NFL? DP, right now, before Thursday Night Football tomorrow night, which we will air right here on the ticket beginning at 6:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your pick for best team in the NFL
Best team,
right now?
Best team right now is the Indianapolis Colts.
Amen.
Oh, right.
Amen.
Record. I just said you are what your record says you are. No team has won more games in the NFL this season than the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been impressive in the games that they've played. Like, you can look and go, okay, this checks some boxes. Now, are you asking me if they're going to win the Super Bowl?
No, I don't have to ask you. You already know the answer is yes.
Different question. No, you assume that was the answer. We can go there. But that's how you get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm data-based. Currently, where they're saying there's no team in the NFL having a better season than the Indianapolis Colts. It's easy to say. It's easy to validate. It's easy to justify. Simple. The Colts have had – look, for all the coaches and all the players, if you have a goal-based production and what can we do for ourselves, the Colts would say we've had 7 opportunities, 6 of them, we passed the test with flying colors. Nobody else is going to say that in the NFL. That's why the Colts get to say that.
If you're projecting forward, who do you think is going to be the best team in the NFL by the time the playoffs roll around?
Well, you have to start where we just were, right? Based on data, the easiest thing to copy is success, and that the Colts will find a way to do this. But then you look into the overall picture, not just who the Colts have played, but who they would have to play to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And what data do we have that a team led by that coach and that quarterback are going to win a Super Bowl?
No data to that point.
Right. So then you have to say,
although Steichen did win a Super Bowl as coordinator.
Well, but I mean, listen, the Ric Flair thing matters. To be the man, you have to beat the man.
Mm-hmm.
And until somebody beats the Eagles in a playoff, it's the Eagles. Like they know the way. They know the path. They know the way. You can look at KC and Buffalo because those are the teams that were there, right? Okay. Put Colts in the middle of that. Add some salt and flavor to the rest of it. But the simplicity is the Colts are on the way. I'm not sure that I'm willing to say in a meaningful game in January that I'm going to slide my chips into Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. I like them. I don't like them that much. I'm not that dude.
Your current top 4 in the AFC, the Colts, the Patriots, the Broncos, and the Steelers. Your current top 4 in the NFC, the Packers, the Niners, the Eagles, and the Bucs. A little bit more in the parity realm, I would say, in the NFC, where you have the Packers leading the way 4-1-1. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 6 other teams that have won 5 games in the NFC compared to just 2 5-game winners in the AFC. Of course, some of that has to do with some bye weeks and how the schedule.
But we don't even know if they're the best, if the Packers are the best team in that division. Like, are you willing to die on that hill? That the Green Bay Packers are better than the Detroit Lions and Chicago Bears currently.
I like the Packers a little bit more right now.
One loss. They've only had one loss. The tie to Dallas either means that Dallas is better than we thought or Green Bay is not as good as we thought.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in that space, the Lions have taken 2 losses that, quite frankly, made us scratch our head sometimes. Right? So there's the place. The Bears, if anybody sneaks up, it's the Bears because we don't have enough data on them. We don't know. This is the Wizard of Oz back there. We don't know what's happening.
Mud Dog, a resident Packers fan, I am willing to die on that hill, yes.
Of course you are. As you should. You have the boxers. Go for it. Go for it. I'm not a member of that club because I saw them last year and I've seen them this year. I like how I'd like it. The data is that in 6 opportunities, they got a passing grade in 5 of them. Not an excellent grade. They got an excellent grade in 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that tie, that's a fart at the dinner table, man.
You can come back from it, but you got to do some work,
right? Like it's going to take some recovery, and you're going to have to ignore some things. But
speaking of that, did you hear? I think it was Petros Papadakis what he said about Lincoln Riley and Jen Cohen at USC.
No,
he essentially said, "Who are these people? These two? They're a fart in a whirlwind to think that they know better for USC and Notre Dame than to try to continue that rivalry."
Yeah, But that goes back to the Nebraska thing of who you think you are versus who you actually are, and then be careful who you give the keys to your car to, right?
Who you want driving that around?
Hey man, we in Virginia we like to say it all the time. Be careful who you attach your car to. It could be a stud or it could be a donkey. Be careful. You will not end up in the same place, the same space. Here's my thing. Why would you not want? I would ask the same question about Nebraska, Oklahoma. Why would you not want that on your schedule? Either place. Why, if you're USC and Notre Dame and you want to be blue blood and you want to, okay, why would you not do that?
Act like it.
Like what? But it's also the same thing. Why would you choose, if you're Nebraska, why would you choose Houston Baptist or Houston Christian over playing Oklahoma? That's an out loud statement. Oh, wow. We ain't trying to do that kind of work. Like, we don't want to do that work, right? But also give credit that you played Cincinnati not knowing that Cincinnati was Cincinnati. You didn't know Cincinnati was 6-1 Cincinnati. You didn't know you'd be the only one against Cincinnati. You had no idea because it was about you. Stop looking at who you play. Oh, jeez.
Last thing then, Sarah Human Jewelers text line. DP, do we care to shout out Crowbait's busted up 49ers for barely squeaking by?
Yes. Gritty is the word that comes to mind. I have far too many 49er fans as friends. I have to fully admit.
How did that happen?
Oh, bro, I got to make better decisions. No, I have bad appreciation for Niners fans. And what they're doing, they're playing so hard for next man up and the people in the room that you've forgotten who's not playing. Like, you don't talk about who's not playing. You're not talking about the contracts of the people, or you shouldn't be. You should be talking about how good is Christian McCaffrey to lead this offensive group into wins in today's NFL? How good does?
Well, he has a Pro Bowl starting quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, give him all. Give Mac all the money. Like, give Mac the knife all the money, because quite frankly, but he's winning meaningful games in the National Football League without the best talent around him. And I mean, think about it, 3 or 4 of their 6 best players aren't playing. Woof. Like, that's the thing. So yeah, get in, battle up. Well done. They figure out a way. No matter who lines up. Hey, Nebraska, pay attention. No matter who lines up, you know the responsibility and you do the job. Like, you don't make an excuse that, Jay Foreman's not here today, so we don't need to do good radio, or we can get away with doing less radio. No. Next man up, get in, do the job, add something to it, and then try to get a win. That's what it is.
Real last one. Thomas in Lincoln, our resident Panthers fan, wants to know what happens if Carolina wins its next game.
Thomas, if they win their next game, I will go into my storage closet and break open the luggage with all of my Carolina Panthers gear. And there's way too much. There's way, Austin Norman. There's way, I have Thomas and Lee. I'm pretty sure I gave Thomas like a Panthers pro wrestling lucha mask. Right? Yeah, right.
You know who they got next, right?
Who
Nobody circles the wagons like
oh jeez. Okay.
The Buffalo Bill.
Well, I mean, again, announce your presence, play Carolina Panther football. It doesn't matter who you play. The Bills have proven that they have leaks. They have leaks. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. So yeah, I gave him 2 signed hats from the NFC Championship game. Panthers, who beat the Cowboys mercilessly in Charlotte, North Carolina, on a fantastic winter night.
Beautiful. DP, appreciate you sitting in. We'll go to break. We'll get Evan Blanda of the Omaha World Herald on the line. Some big news in college baseball. Tony Vitello headed to San Francisco, and Kevin O'Sullivan stepping away from Florida for personal matters. We'll talk about that and plenty more in Huskerville with Evan Bland after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
load up on meat, and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Baumgars has a loyalty shopping event this Saturday. Loyalty Rewards members can save $50 on their purchase of $200 or more. You heard that right. Spend $200 or more on any merchandise of your choosing in the store, so no gift cards, and you'll save $50 instantly.
The $200 spend is pre-tax and cannot be combined with other discounts or offers.
Not a loyalty member? Just sign up today. It's all happening at Baumgars this Saturday only.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Schwizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Bonsall Pool & Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool & Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. It is Old School on The Ticket. Austin Foreman here. DP alongside Dave Foreman will be back soon as well. But right now we're headed to our Aloe Fiber VIP line. where we are joined by Evan Bland of the Omaha World-Herald. First and foremost, Evan, happy Victor Wembanyama returns to a basketball court day. You made it.
Made it back. I think this is the year the Spurs make it back to the playoffs. So one game at a time. Here we go.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, Evan, we know that you are our resident college baseball expert. We enjoy chatting about that here on the show. We talked some red-white last week, but holy cow, some seismic shifts in college baseball emanating from, no shock, the SEC. Let's start with the news that's been in development here, maybe behind the scenes for a couple weeks, but really started to pick up some steam toward the end of last week and the start of this week. It's official. Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello has been hired by the San Francisco Giants, becoming the first man to leap straight from college baseball coaching, being a head coach, to being a Major League Baseball manager. I guess first and foremost, your reaction to that news and that decision from Tony Vitello and the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, unprecedented, like you said, to make the jump from college to pro. You feel like if anyone can do it, Vitello would be a really fascinating one to watch. I mean, he's incredibly fiery, detail oriented. His career goes all the way back to working with Max Scherzer at Missouri, and then he built Tennessee into the power that it is. And the way that you build a college baseball roster in today's climate isn't all that different from how you build a roster at the major league level, where it's about money, it's about identifying certain traits, it's about being data driven and detail oriented, and Vitello checks all those boxes. So as much as the college game, I think, more closely resembles Major League Baseball when you talk about three true outcomes and athleticism all over the field, like that gap is smaller, I think, than what we've seen before. And so the jump maybe isn't as huge as it would have been 10 or 15 years ago, but a fascinating case study, one I think that a lot of other major league teams would keep an eye on to see how that transition goes. And then, you look on the other end of it too with Tennessee, like that was a program that had been okay before Vitello got there, but he really took them to that next level as a national power, obviously won the national championship in 2024. And so how they decide to move on is fascinating too. I mean, there's a lot of clamor locally for their assistant, Josh Elander, who's a young up-and-coming coach who's been with Vitello pretty much throughout his Tennessee ascent. So do they go with the internal hire for continuity, or do they, look nationally and see what kind of name they can get to bite there? So very interesting hire for if you're a Major League Baseball fan, and also if you're a College World Series fan with a move like this in October.
Kendall Rogers has been on this story talking a little bit about it, and he has said that the Giants originally wanted a decision by the weekend. And the fact that they were able to wait, an extra few days, it doesn't seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things. But Evan, this is an unprecedented move, like we've mentioned, in that we have a Major League Baseball team paying buyout money to an SEC program to buy out the rest of Tony Vitello's contract, or at least some portion of it. And I think it tells you just how much Buster Posey and his front office in San Francisco respect Tony Vitello and think that he is the guy, because you would think that, for as big as SEC baseball is, Major League Baseball is obviously bigger. It is the big bad in the baseball world. But if a Major League Baseball franchise, one of 30 in the world, was willing to maybe not acquiesce, but give its preferred candidate more time instead of setting that hard deadline of, hey, no, take it or leave it, you only have this many hours, that tells you how highly they must think of a guy like Tony Vitello.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. And it's one of those deals, I think, where in the majors now, I don't know that a casual fan could name 20, 25 managers of teams. Like, you just can't do it. I follow it, and I can probably name 5 to 10. So, I think there's a perception that the value of the manager at the major league level is less than it's ever been. And so, if you're the Giants, who are a 500 team this year, and you're looking to find an edge, you could go with a former major league player, we just saw the Angels do with Kurt Suzuki. You could go with sort of the recycled experience hire of someone who's done it, or you could try looking outside the box like they're doing with Vitello, a guy who's clearly driven, self-motivated, has built it at a smaller level. And so they're banking on those traits and characteristics, maybe making a similar impact at the major league level. And if it doesn't work out, you know what? You can find managers. It's not that hard to do. From Vitello's perspective, it makes a ton of sense as someone who is a baseball lifer who's going to get his chance on the biggest stage. So, you know, you can understand it from his perspective. And again, I think the Giants, they had a lot of ways that they could go, but if this is a higher, it strikes me as a no lose. Like it either works out and those traits translate and he provides a difference at the major league level, or it doesn't, and they find somebody else in a few years and you move forward. It's kind of business as usual either way.
I'm going to be really curious to see how it goes, because I think that the Tony Vitello spark that he brought to Tennessee, at least from the outside looking into that Giants organization and hearing some of the chatter around them, seems like that is an organization in need of a little bit of a spark. I mean, obviously we know it worked in Orange on Rocky Top. We'll see if it can work in the Bay Area. I'd be curious to see how it goes as well, Evan, because like you said, for Tony Vitello, if it works, great. If it doesn't, he's got options. But I would be curious to see if that's a guy that once he got the taste of the professional lifestyle, if he would rather, you know, go be a AAA manager somewhere, or, I mean, you would think if he wants to come back to college baseball, he'd have a job, you know, ready and waiting for him at the drop of the hat. I'm curious to see, you know, where we're at in 5 years, because he is such a baseball lifer. All he's known is college for now. If it goes well, I could see Tony Vitello saying, yeah, I know this translates to some degree. I loved my time in college baseball, but it's hard to pass up the major league lifestyle. Maybe that's as a, you know, bench coach, assistant hitting coach, whatever it is. But man, if he even considers coming back to college, there are going to be some big time programs all over him if it doesn't work out for him in the pros.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, and like, it really is just a matter of personal preference. Like, he may get a taste of the professional level and say, like, this is the next thing I need to conquer, right? I dogpiled in Omaha, and now I want to take it to the highest level of the sport. He may also say, why am I hamstringing myself with draft picks when I can go out and get a bunch of high future draft picks myself through the recruiting process, and you know, leveraging relationships and rev share, and just Tennessee invested in baseball wherever he potentially could end up in the future. I'm sure would have a major investment in that sport as well. I think some coaches often look at it and say, why limit myself to what I can do in the draft when I can go out and land most of the top guys that I feel the strongest about. So, I mean, it may not be his decision based on, you know, if things don't go well, but yeah, if they do, I mean, what a position to be in where you can kind of choose your level. And, you know, we've seen it in other iterations. Like, we've seen college coaches go be major league pitching coaches or bench coaches. We haven't seen the college coach, the head coach thing. So it's not like it's totally, you know, unusual or impossible to assume that he could do well here. So again, it'll be a really interesting case study. If it works out, you can probably point to half a dozen other really high-end college coaches that then I think probably would get a little bit of a longer look from major league teams when their managerial jobs come open into the future.
A couple more college baseball things. I think the next thing to talk about is just big picture for college baseball. Is this a win, Evan, that one of its best coaches is going to the major leagues, and now maybe, you know, the casual fan, the common fan can say, oh, they have some guys that Major League Baseball is interested in. I can maybe pay some more attention to that. Or is losing such a big personality and such a big draw to the sport that even the casual fans know who Tony Vitello is or was and which program he coached? Is that maybe a little bit of a blow that college baseball will have to try to find the next kind of headliner for?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of both. I do think he's been one of the great personalities in college baseball. Certainly when he comes to Omaha, he's appointment listening. He always has strong opinions and is informed on what's going on and is insightful and all the rest. I do think, though, it's probably a net gain for college baseball. Like, you think about just how much more college and the professional level have become tied together really since the pandemic, when they cut down on the number of draft rounds that occurred. They halved it from 40 to 20. And what we've seen college baseball become a lot more of in the last 5 to 10 years is sort of this is where more pro teams are okay with letting their their prospects develop. Like, let the colleges spend the money, invest in the facilities and the pitching labs and the coaches. And we're seeing college players, not only more get drafted as opposed to high school or international, but you're also seeing guys that are making the jumps to the majors way fast. I mean, Nick Kurtz this year was a college player just a couple of years ago. He broke out as a slugger. You're seeing Trey Savage for the Blue Jays right now in the World Series. He was at Eastern Carolina a couple of years ago. So you're seeing, I think, an acknowledgement from the major league level that the quality of the college game is as good as it's ever been. I think this is just another sign now where you can point to a major league club tapping a college head coach and saying, we like you and what you're doing so much that we're going to elevate you directly to this position. So I think it's another sign that college baseball is as strong as it's been in maybe ever.
It's really sad to me that you didn't bring up my boy Jack Caglione with the Kansas City Royals,
Yeah.
but I get it. He made it quick. He didn't necessarily have the success, but that's how I'll segue into the other coaching news out of the SEC, and that's Kevin O'Sullivan taking a leave of absence to address personal matters. Per Florida, Chuck Girolman will be the interim head coach as the Florida Gators are currently going through fall ball per Gators Online. We'll see. Obviously, it's October, Evan. Long way to go before things start in February. But you hope for Kevin O'Sullivan's sake this is over sooner than later. That's a guy that's serving a 3-game suspension based on the kerfuffle, the demonstration he had in Conway at the end of last season for his Gators. That'd be a pretty big loss for Florida if this turns into an extended absence of their leader.
Yeah, it would. From what I have seen on other reports and things, it doesn't sound like it's going to be maybe a long-term thing necessarily. He'll have that suspension, like you mentioned, and you would imagine he'd be back for the chunk of next year. At least that's kind of how it sounds right now. And he's another guy who's had a ton of success and really helped elevate college baseball. And Florida's been good for a long time. It's in an advantageous part of the country for college baseball, but I think it's been awfully consistent under Kevin O'Sullivan for a long time too. And if they had to move on from him this year or into the future, like, I think Florida's in a strong enough place where they'd be able to find an awfully quality candidate and move forward. But it does, I guess, serve as just another reminder that especially now in the current climate, like, there's going to be instability, and you better be ready as a program to make that adjustment and move forward. And I guess I'm not worried about Florida really regardless of what happens, but you hope for their sake that O'Sullivan comes back soon and continues to do what he's done there for a long time.
One coaching search underway for Florida that is on the football side, TBD on the baseball end of things. We're talking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. And I suppose, Evan, we should ask a couple Nebraska football questions before we get you out of here. First and foremost, we heard from Matt Rule on Monday, some pretty pointed comments toward and about his coordinators and how things were going. We heard from both coordinators then the very next day. What did you take away from Matt Rule's comments and then how his coordinators responded to them when they got a chance on Tuesday?
Yeah, it was a different kind of press conference than what we're used to seeing with Matt Rule. I mean, you could tell he was disappointed, very disappointed in the result, and could feel that. And I think the term that he used, uniquely candid, was very appropriate for what the day was. And when you heard about him saying that he didn't feel like he could convince his coaching staff to get up for Minnesota and that they'd be a legitimate threat, and you heard, just a lot of, I think, things that maybe he would not have gotten into details on in other games. And I don't know that there were a ton of answers on Tuesday from the coordinators either. I mean, just very, very insightful, sort of raw, reflective moments from those both coordinators. I mean, you heard Dana Holgerson say that he thought that they could go downfield on Minnesota, throw the ball downfield, and the pass pro and all the other pieces that went into that didn't allow that to hold up. I mean, you heard John Butler say that early second quarter run when Minnesota pops one for 71 yards affected his play calling the rest of the way and maybe took away some of that aggressiveness. So it's an interesting point in the season to be kind of having those moments, and you contrast that with Minnesota, which is very much comfortable in its own skin. Like, it knows what it wants to do. It's going to run the ball. It has no problem putting together 14 plays and 98 yards, kind of dinking and dunking its way downfield. Like, it's cool with that. And so it's an interesting moment, I think, for Nebraska in just trying to figure out who it is and what does it want to do? What's it want to accomplish? I wasn't of the opinion that loss Friday night was all about talent disparity or anything. I thought a lot of it was on the game plan and not adjusting in certain ways. And I think the tone and almost the emotion that came out of those press conferences Monday and Tuesday probably reflected that.
What do you expect to hear from Matt Rule tomorrow? Do you think it's all out of his system and it'll be all on to Northwestern? Do you expect any lingering carryover effects or questions for the head coach when he speaks tomorrow?
Yeah, I think you move forward at this point. I think he said what he needs to say about last week. I think the coordinators did the same. The players were candid as well, talking about their head coach's comments about what entitlement could look like and needing to expect everything to be a fight. So I think they probably doubled down on practice and on film and doing the things that they're used to doing. So I think it's on to Northwestern. And at this point, you can't let Minnesota beat you twice. Incidentally, you look back at some of their recent losses to Minnesota and they have snowballed into 2 or 3 in a row. And so I think you got to look forward and say that this Northwestern team isn't all that different from Minnesota in that it's comfortable in doing what it does. It has no grand illusions of playing like Ohio State. Like, it's going to be physical. It's going to be fundamentally sound. And if you're not locked in for that, then it's going to be a repeat of what you just saw. So I fully expect it to be focused on Northwestern and maybe getting some updates on other players. Is this the week Malcolm Hartzog comes back at nickel, or does he remain out? Does Rocco Spindler practiced Tuesday? Is he still on track to be the starter at right guard as usual? So a few things like that. But yeah, I fully expect it to be about this weekend and the opportunity that's still ahead.
Evan Blandachek, he is on to Northwestern. He writes for the Omaha World Herald. Check it out, omaha.com. Evan, as always, appreciate your time and insight. We'll see you around. Have a good rest of your week.
Thanks, Austin. See ya.
Evan joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart, the official internet provider of your Nebraska Cornhuskers. We'll wrap up hour 2 of Old School Whiteboard/White Boy Wednesday, depending on how you hear Jay Foreman say it, coming up at the top of the 5 o'clock hour.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Baumgars has a loyalty shopping event this Saturday. Loyalty Rewards members can save $50 on their purchase of $200 or more. You heard that right. Spend $200 or more on any merchandise of your choosing in the store.
So no gift cards.
And you'll save $50 instantly.
The $200 spend is pre-tax and cannot be combined with other discounts or offers.
Not a loyalty member? Just sign up today. It's all happening at Baumgars this Saturday only.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, areas of frost this morning. Otherwise, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze, the high near 66. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, below around 38. Tomorrow, areas of frost in the morning. Otherwise, mainly sunny with light winds, the high near 65. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out Renew PM, the ultimate nighttime recovery formula. Fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up refreshed. Renew PM can only be found at Nutrition Authority, the home of better than internet pricing. Own the night with Renew PM. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
You're invited to a Halloween karaoke party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards on October 31st. Stop by Madsen's from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. for live music and a live podcast, costume contest, poker, and of course, karaoke. Admission is free, and there's still plenty of TVs to catch the Friday night college football games as well. That's 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday, October 31st for the Halloween Karaoke Party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holder.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Bonsall Pool and Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool and Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you here on Old School, final segment of Hour 2, brought to you by the great folks over at Love Volleyball Nebraska. Jay, we'll talk more about this tomorrow when we have a little bit more time, but just briefly, 2 NBA games in the books. You have the Thunder taking down the Rockets in a barn burner in a thriller, and the Warriors pull away late. Steph Curry from deep over Gabe Vincent to all but put that game on ice. Your takeaways from night 1 of the NBA slate?
Well, OKC is OKCing. I think that the Rockets are definitely dangerous, but I think they do need a table setter and or at least somebody that can come off the bench and table set, and that way you can kind of really get the most out of your Kevin Durant and company. But they're definitely going to be. And for the Warriors, they're the Warriors. You got Draymond, Steph, and Jimmy Butler, and you got, Kuminga. He's, I guess he's there for at least all the way to the All-Star break, at least for a year. The Warriors are the Warriors. The Lakers are the Lakers. The Lakers didn't do anything. LeBron's not playing. It's Luka's team. It's a hodgepodge of it's Luka and a bunch of guys that the Lakers were trying to trade. Austin
straight
Reeves,
up.
Like, or you don't ever get to trade LeBron until he says he wants to get traded, but Austin Reeves, Connect Four, they tried to trade, got rejected, got back.
Vincent Filler, Vanderbilt.
They all have been their agents have been like, you might be traded in 48 hours. Oh, you know what? Go ahead, make a dinner reservation for Friday. So, I think JJ Redick is trying to do some stuff. They obviously don't have their full arsenal. I don't know what the ceiling is for the Lakers.
The ceiling's 4 seed.
4 seed.
Because I feel good about
and your
OKC.
And your bounce the second round.
Depending on the matchup.
You've been to 3. You beat the
Depending
3.
on the
Say you
matchup.
beat the 3, then you would play the.
Well, you'd have the 5 if you're the 4.
Or the
home court advantage over the 5.
Okay.
And then you'd probably play the Thunder.
And,
Unless something happens to them and the Nuggets sneak into the 1 seed.
They're done. You just just extended your time to go to Cancun, and then I know they panned over to LeBron and it's great that Luka had one assist from a triple double, but you're not going to win a championship with Luka at 43 points and he's going to obviously be in the run for the MVP. But where's LeBron going to fit? Because he's got to be thinking, what's my next move?
But he can't be thinking, what's my next move, if he wants to be fully all in on basketball and worried about that winning a championship.
No, I'm talking about where I see where this is going. This is Luka's team. This is the first time LeBron has been in a franchise, and it's passive aggressively, indirectly known this is not your team.
Right.
He's towards the end of his career, and this is not your team, and we're not trying to win.
Right. We're trying to write it out, so then we can build the team we want around Luka.
And are they really getting their bang for their buck for LeBron, giving him
giving him sciatica?
Yeah, sciatica, $50 million. He's making $50 million. You can go to Cleveland or something. You can go to the Knicks.
You go to San Antonio.
Yeah, you could go to the Knicks.
Do the Knicks want Bron or Giannis, though?
They want Giannis. They'll deal with Bron. They'll get Giannis after Bron leaves. Bron leaves.
I see it. We'll keep talking about that, but first, before we do that, we got Whiteboard Wednesday coming up next right here, 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through October at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by a qualified standard rate for another 36 months. Whether you're thinking of this year's harvest or planning ahead, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details, or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Baumgars has a loyalty shopping event this Saturday. Loyalty Rewards members can save $50 on their purchase of $200 or more. You heard that right. Spend $200 or more on any merchandise of your choosing in the store,
So no gift cards.
and you'll save $50 instantly.
The $200 spend is pre-tax and cannot be combined with other discounts or offers.
Not a loyalty member? Just sign up today. It's all happening at Baumgars this Saturday only.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
You're invited to a Halloween karaoke party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards on October 31st. Stop by Madsen's from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. for live music and a live podcast, costume contest, poker, and of course, karaoke. Admission is free, and there's still plenty of TVs to catch the Friday night college football games as well. That's 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday, October 31st for the Halloween karaoke party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holder.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Big news, Nebraska! Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. Brought you the new school way. Coming to 1040 O Street. Live in effect. 11th and O Street if you want to be lazy. But we're here live on a beautiful day. No wind. A little brisk, but it is officially fall. Nebraska fell last week, but we're going to do a little Black Shirt Breakdown Whiteboard Wednesday to give you a little heads up what's coming down the pipe. Usually we do an off or run play and a pass play, but we have some other programming issues. Maybe get some maybe early tomorrow if we can. So be on the lookout for that. And plus I'll pop some stuff out on YouTube. But before we even get into that, we are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Laundromat / Old Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. And obviously, we played Penn State, or not played Penn State last week. Northwestern played Penn State and sent James Franklin home, but we played the Gophers last week, struggled a little bit against the run. More are doing, showing our ready to play and being gap sound. It's rinse and repeat, maybe to a different magnitude, because I feel like the Gophers probably had they got one viable receiver and a couple. Penn State has one. Tight ends can run, don't throw too much. Quarterbacks kind of about the same, nothing flashy. And so one of the things is that Nebraska, or at least in the Big Ten, you don't face a lot of two-back run game, right? So before this play, they were in, it was just in shotgun, no running backs. They just shifted back, right? And so this formation here is old school, Austin, right? This is where we're testing your manhood right now.
I'll give you one guess as to where Northwestern is going. If you can see this play,
you got a tight end over there, two receivers, offset a fullback, number 41, and the running back, and the quarterback's in pistol formation or whatever you want to call it. So there is no passing threat to the left side of the defense, right? And obviously you got to still line up and be gap sound, but you know exactly what's coming. This is an Army call, and so they are running, trying to run off of this left side here, and they have a really pretty good left tackle. Penn State is up here, and Penn State early in the game, they did some run blitzes and they moved to create, penetration across the line of scrimmage to confuse Northwestern. And more importantly, they tried to punk Northwestern, like after the play. And they tried to be physical and stuff, and they got, really good players.
Can you think about that?
What?
How low Penn State has gotten to where they're trying to punk Northwestern?
Well, maybe if they always were trying to play like that, but if you watch the tape, they were trying to test them. But Northwestern, the one thing about this team, and this play is indicative of what Nebraska's going to face, probably because they have to play. They got a pretty good defense, Northwestern does. Obviously, pretty good special teams. You're not probably going to be able to pull one over them. Hopefully, we do, as far as like a trick play or something. And so their offense, tries to, establish the line of scrimmage. They got, capable tight end. They'll throw to the backs. 17 can get busy. He can beat one-on-one coverage. He knows how to run, and they throw to windows against the zone. And he can get open under money time, and he's got pretty good hands, and he does a decent job at running after the catch. But this is a straight boss. We used to call it a bob. So boss is back on safety, right? So full back on safety. Or it could be a bob, which is back on backer, which would be just the outside guy. It could be this guy here, since he's displaced. He's the first guy outside. So this is just the formation that you're going to get from him. And you're going to see right here as the run play goes. And this is what I want everybody to see here, which is more important, right? Okay? Right here. Man to man. On him. Man to man. On him. Already turned him. Right? Okay?
That's two steps into the play.
Yeah, 2 steps into play. Turned him. Okay? No fair dodging. You know where he's going. No fair dodging. You know where he's going. Backside. On him. Backside. On him. No mistakes. All right? Penn State was on a run blitz here, which we'll see, picked up by the center. That lets you know the communication's there. They're on the road. This is the play they're coming. So the communication in the line and in the snap count is good. Right? Here's the fullback trying to seek and destroy. He's looking for the first guy. And it's going to depends on whoever shows up first. So he's going to be reading in conjunction with this tight end, which, if you remember correctly, TCU against North Carolina, we saw the tight end waiting for him. Peekaboo, I see you, right? So he's waiting for you. And so the tight end's either going to go up to the linebacker here, all right, or come there, and then 41, the fullback, is going to read it. Now, this running back here, I think missed the read. I think he had 2 options, and it worked out for him, but it could have really worked out for him if he hit the backside hole. So that's what I wanted to point out. Just from this view, when you're looking down, there's no mistakes. And more importantly, when you look at it, Penn State has won the line of scrimmage, and then you'll see their pad level, which is probably their best thing. So that lets you know
Northwestern is one.
Northwestern, excuse me, is won the line of scrimmage. Their pad level, you've seen the physicality, and I'm going to take this back here, right? Okay, they have turned 2 guys. 2 guys at the point of attack. Turned back towards it, right? Okay, so that's some power. Turned this way. Plays going this way. All right, that's pretty impressive. So then we come to the next one here, and I highlighted here. This is what you call right here. Sometimes you get these little find these little things you can do, and you start to really feel yourself, Austin. I get to do this right. What I'm talking about right here, okay? It was man on man. You're on him, right? Obliteration. 0 had a run blitz. He just kept going because he got blown out. He's way here, way over here. Okay, look at this on him. Okay, he was ghost blocking him. He's going up to the safety, right? On him, backside. Okay, on him, backside. Point of attack, finishing. Look at Northwestern. Look at his pad level. You can't see it, and look where this guy is at. This is the running back right here. First contact is backside. Is first contact is from a backside defender is 4 yards down the field. Untouched. Clean blocking. Now Northwestern necessarily doesn't have explosive running backs that can make you miss, hit your head on the goalpost. Now they can make you miss. I don't know if they have takeoff and chalk up strike up the band speed, but they will continue to punch and continue to punch. This is the same play that they ran and came back to on the game-sealing touchdown. The thing that's most impressive to him that you have to be, not worried about, respect and prepare for. I'm going to say it again. Respect and prepare for is that they're going to challenge you physically and mentally. So get your mind right. And don't think what if, say what will. What will we be willing to do to get ready for it? It's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. Right. And so they've done a really good job there of obviously blocking and being clean. They're disciplined, well coached in the offensive line.
And they're on the edge of that kind of top middle circle, the last one you highlighted, right next to the running back. There's a free dude looking for work for Northwestern.
Right.
So if the running back's able to turn it up, maybe he gets the linebacker in pursuit. Right. Or, hey, look, there's 3-on-2. Penn State's going to have one guy coming downhill. Well, guess what? You got a blocker right there to help you out.
If you're blocking like this as Northwestern, if you even have Jay Foreman back there, you feel they got a pretty formidable running back or running game.
Well, you're a former running back, so of course you feel
former retired running back. Got retired as soon as I got to Nebraska. But you're able to get if you first down that you run the first time you run this, you get 6 to 8 yards. You like that. That's a play that you put the little star by that you can go back to, right? You picked up their run blitz, you physically imposed them. It's hat on hat on the road. You like this play. Right, and so we're gonna keep going right here, and this is the original here. This is to tell the story right here. All right, this is right. No fair dodging, getting at it. Look at this right here. Okay, look at the pad level. This. I mean, I hate offensive linemen, but I give it to them. Look at this right here. Look at hat on hat, destroyed. Okay, look at the fullback. Okay, looking for work. Look at him. Right, double team. Right, get some movement, and he gets turned. His butt goes this way. Right, look at that. He's keeping his eyes on 34, or I think that's 24, and whoever's coming backside. I think 4 or 10 is the one that at first contact. Okay, pick up the run blitz, center, turn him. Okay, send him to get a hot dog right here, low, looking for it. Right, look at the hats. I mean, right here, look at that. This is not to be scary, but this is talk about like this is what should get you excited as I am. I like this type of stuff. Like let's go. Right, this is easy. No fair dodging. Not a lot of trick plays. We're going to try to, they're trying to be on time and on target as far as the head of the chains, and we got to stop them. But this is what they brought to Penn State, which then ultimately was a deciding factor why James Franklin's doing what we're doing right now, talking about football versus coaching.
So from this view, I really like it. You mentioned that tight end on the end of the line of scrimmage to the offense's left, defense's right, engaged in a double team.
Yeah.
Assuming that was a called double team, is there a world in which if you're the tight end, you just kind of shove the guy to help your tackle out, and then you go get the second level guys, your fullback can go get the safety? Or what's the...
Yeah, so this is right here, and we'll go all the way right here. We'll go all the way back, right? So this is, depending on what happens, this fullback, now this is where they actually had too good a movement, right? This fullback could just lead him outside and kind of whatever. I don't know what their offensive calls are, right? So sure, if this tight end came up and got him, right? Then you would probably be wanting to have a little bit more inside seal on 33. But it seems like this is a boss play, which is back on safety.
All the way in the bottom right.
Right,
corner.
bottom right.
Yeah.
So then he would be trying to run the loop here. But you'll see in another one, he's got, when you're a running back here, I mean, you're seeing it. Would you be mad if you cut it and went downhill?
No, I'm probably still getting 4.
Right. And then so he ends up hitting it right here and gets like 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like he had too many choices.
So my point on the fullback then is if he's going to go get the linebacker, essentially with how this is blocked, you're setting up ideally, if the guy follows the blocking right, you're setting up a one-on-one with your running back downhill against the safety, right?
Running back, you want to get, if the way this is blocked, it's a winning play because you feel like your running back right here is getting to 4 or 5 yards deep one-on-one. It's his job to make guys like me miss, right? It's our job to meet them before they get to 3 or 4 yards down the field. Now, here's where that Penn State made a little bit of a mistake, right? And this is where you got to be really detailed, and you can think about this even if Nebraska's running. Okay, 0 is their middle linebacker. He's essentially on a called dog. That means no matter what, he's running this. He's running it. He's out here. So this is gap for gap, right? So this is the gap he has. This guy gets obliterated. He's supposed to be in this gap. So if you're the backside defender here, the B gap was a run blitz. This is outside right here. So if I'm number 4, which is if I'm a drop down safety, one of these two, okay, this is where the details of a defense, this is where you got to know the why and when these are called. So all this, once you know that by the formation, everything is going this way. You can't run counter back there. So number 0 or number 10 actually needs to be right here because you have number 4 there. You still have the winning count right there.
You gave up numbers.
You gave up numbers. So number 10 should be coming in and reading here and stopping it essentially for no gain. Okay, that's where Jim Knowles is. The Jim Knowles should be, right?
So he's essentially got to have his head on the running back because, the fullback's coming for 24, 34, right. The circle on the right. So, right. Okay.
And you have this defender right here.
So then as the defender, obviously you want to keep vision. Are you trying to stack yourself behind your defensive lineman so the running back can't see you? Are you picking a gap to dictate where the running back should go?
Yeah,
what's in Ten's head right now?
Well, number 1, he's lined up wrong.
Right.
Okay. So I don't know if he's thinking about an algebra test or whatever. He's lined up wrong, or number 4, whichever one. But most likely, I think it's number 10, safety backside down. Right. You got to. So it depends on. He's essentially playing a linebacker. Depending on how they're coached. I've played in both. It's one gap, one back. You hit it. Hit it and split it. Right. Then he would be shooting whatever gap this guy's not, responsible for. But let's just say that he is, right? And he's he's lined up right here, and he's supposed to shoot this gap. And this guy gets knocked in here. He just goes over there.
Read it.
Get there. Right. You never run in the darkness. Now,
do your job, make a play.
Right. Now, let's say if he's to the way I've played before, where you stack. Okay, you can line up even if he's lined up right there because he's a lot faster than I was. Obviously, he's smaller. Okay, you come here and you stack. Okay, and then once it declares, you step up and make the tackle. But they didn't do either. Okay, and then what you'll see here is we get another one here. All right, this is what you're seeing. This is the results right here.
This is the carnage. This is the 7-car crash on the highway.
Right, this is the carnage, right? The defensive tackle, pancake, right? 0, ran himself out of the play. Backside tackle is trying to cut him off, right? Now look at the angle. Look at these.
Dude standing straight up.
Yeah. 33, right? Right? Because I think this play was supposed to go outside, but look at the fullback. Because the running back sees this huge hole. He had 2 options. It actually should be mad at the 3 technique. How dare you get dominated? Because I could have fit up right through this right here, right? But he's going to run to first sight, right? Because of this dominating block right here, and it's actually a win right here. But look right here, okay, on this tight end that came off on the rub on 24. Look at the pad level there.
Woo!
Right? Look at the pad level. So they're trying to they're going to just try to technique you to death. And so the running back coming up here, got his shoulder squares, and he's coming straight downhill. Now, I will tell you this, as far as Penn State's defenders, look at his feet. Guarantee you, he crossed over, galloped, and he thought he was going and following number 0. He messed up. He was supposed to be on play side A gap. Right? And now this was the backside cleanup guy. Both of them are essentially blocking themselves, right? And then you get to the original play. We're going to go back here. We're a little bit out of sequence, but that's all good. So
you got to hire a better producer for
no,
that.
that's all right. I sent it. I did a bad job on sending an email right here. Right here we go, right here. This is what I want you to see how it started. Right, I should have did this one and then that one. How it started and how it ended. You know how they do that on TikTok?
This is me. You might be wondering how you got me in this situation.
So this is it right here. So this is that play right there ended up hitting up 6-7 yards deep before you get touched. Right? So right here, when you see it, now this is a really good picture right here. Look at this right here, and look what happens. Look where he's at, right? So now we can just when you see this, you can really guess the gaps now, what's supposed to happen.
So then, okay, so 4, guy in the very left, very outside guy, that's the corner.
Yeah.
That's the outside corner. So 10's the safety on the field side. Essentially, so then 6
the 6 is the alley player, right? That's the one that was at the bottom right. Now we can see this, right? So now you can see this right now. It's 1 back, 1 gap because we have a dog blitz. A gap, B gap, C gap contain. Because there's no run play back here. Because there's no blockers. So that's where 10's supposed to be. Even if you're lined up here, now look at this. This is even a better picture, okay? He's lined up in a 2-eye, right? 2-eye alignment. That's head up to inside on the offensive guard. So he has an excuse why he got dominated. He's supposed to be there. He got pancaked in there, all right? He's lined up in a 6, right? Tight 6. That's him right here. He's supposed to be out here where he went. And then this fullback is looking for first sight of a defender, which most likely would be 6 or the alley player that's right here. So if I'm 10, you're free safety. You're Troy Polamalu. This is what Pittsburgh used to run with him. But he would be so smart once he knows his run, he's shooting this gap right here.
Is he anticipating any of that before the snap and starting to roll that way a little bit as he's hearing the cadence?
First of all, you're at an advantage. You're at home. Crowd noise is going crazy. This is the beginning of the game. The game's always in tight. It ended up being 22-21.
25-24.
It was
one
point game.
Yeah. Oh, 22-21.
22-21. Right? So you're in the mix. They can't, draw you off sides necessarily. It's generally going to be a quick count. And you can time it up, right? You got the crowd hype, right? You should be coming in like a heat-seeking missile. Because if you think of it right now, if it's man-to-man, okay, that's fine. Most likely not because it's in zone because you're blitzing here. You're taking a man-to-man defender out by 0 going, right? So who would the corner be having? I guess he could have the dot back. That's fine. Then if you have man-to-man, the 2 men, if the dot back is out, then the fullback and the tight end are covered by 24 and 10 from afar.
So then corner's just kind of sitting backside in case someone flows back the other way on play action.
Only right there.
Yeah.
But this is run all day long.
Yeah.
Period. And I could even argue more that sometimes when you do this, okay, when you have an outside rusher, we used to call it cluing off the guy, off the dot back, because they block down and blocks him. This guy will take him. So you're covered every single way against the pass. Now it's communication probably zone, right? Because you have a guy displaced here. He's not going to guard a slot. So you're in zone. So now that lets you play even faster. So this play by Northwestern was led by number 10 not being overly aggressive when you should have been aggressive. And the pure domination that sent the play where it wasn't supposed to, when it was supposed to be out here. More importantly, it shows you that Northwestern is going to try to make this into a dogfight because this is the way that they play. It's rinse and repeat for Minnesota. They have 2 good backs that can make you miss in tight spaces. Not very explosive backs, probably not like Darius Taylor. Probably a replica of the quarterback, just kind of the same. He'll do enough.
But upperclassman, been around, well-traveled.
Right. He'll do it, right? He'll throw you some balls. He'll give you a chance to get some turnovers. So this is great for the defense. If you are a little leaky against the run, he'll throw you a pick. He'll give you a straight present or 2. You got to make them.
I was just gonna say you got to earn it.
You got to earn it. But he'll give it to you unearned. But you got to make.
You can't bank on that.
You can't bank on it. So you got to go out and make them. Listen, this is a game. We are stopping the run, and then we're trying to obliterate the quarterback. Penn State did not. And the defense in Northwestern did a really good job against Penn State. And they got a good receiver. Tight end is decent. He had a big crossing route, and they run level routes. They'll sit down in zone. 17 and their outside number 80 is a decent athlete. He's kind of like, tall, stringy guy. He can make some, try to throw some 50-50 balls, more linear guy. And so you got to be real physical with them. So you got your work cut out for you from a physicality standpoint. They block the same way in here as they do out here. The standard is the standard. So at this point, when you're showing up to the game, it's on. This is not a team that's going to change who they are coming down to Lincoln. They're going to line up. They're going to try to. They're not going to back down. They're going to compete, and they're going to see how much you want to play football.
They're going to probably try to put Rex Guthrie in number 10's shoes, I would guess. Maybe test him Singleton, but he's a little more comfortable playing up close to the line of scrimmage. And Marquise Buford, they get tested. Respond.
Yeah, and they'll flip the formation, and they'll run it. They'll run it to our left. They'll run it to the boundary, which is the short side of the field over here. They'll run They'll run one back. They'll come out with 11 or 12 personnel, and they'll try to run it at you and see what you got. I mean, they're going to run every single run play to see how well you play them, both in base personnel, which for them is 11, 12 personnel. Now they have 21, and they'll do it 11 personnel. They'll run it on first, second, and third down. They'll run it to set it up later in the game, and then they'll see how well you're going to communicate on the back end. They'll put 17 in the slot. They'll play him outside. They'll put him in motion. You know he's getting it. I mean, he gave, I think it's number 4 out here. He gave him work to the point of like, dang, that's a pretty good route, right? So he's physical. He's going to compete. He's got a decent set of hands. Decent speed. So look, it's a rinse and repeat game from next week. That's why. Nebraska's mindset as well, it sets up really well for them. They're at home, could play the run a little bit better at home, and then they just got to make plays in the pass game. So that's exactly what to expect right there. And the Black Shirt breakdown, Northwestern. We got time tomorrow. We'll do a passing concept, which is essentially straight out of like Madden 2002. How you do. Now you can design your own playbook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the quarterback designed his own playbook. It's very, very simple. So. Anyways, appreciate you listening, tuning in, especially on the stream. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through October at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by a qualified standard rate for another 36 months. Whether you're thinking of this year's harvest or planning ahead, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details, or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
You're invited to a Halloween karaoke party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards on October 31st. Stop by Madsen's from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. for live music and a live podcast, costume contest, poker, and of course, karaoke. Admission is free, and there's still plenty of TVs to catch the Friday night college football games as well. That's 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday, October 31st for the Halloween karaoke party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holder.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back here. Foreman, Austin, Orman, old school and new school way. Little Whiteboard Wednesday, Black Shirt Breakdown. Always a White Boy Wednesday.
Always a White Boy Wednesday. That's never going to die, by the way.
Was that Eric?
No, I don't. I think it was Sean. I want to say.
Yeah.
But
on the text line.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whitest thing Austin Orman did this week was, I don't know. I have to think about it a little more.
Yeah. That was funny.
Maybe the recent example would be my sister-in-law wants to do matching pajamas for her daughter, and our son.
Christmas?
Yeah. Is that something that non-white families would do as well?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so that doesn't count. Dang, I gotta keep thinking.
Yeah, it counts.
As white boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't get in that. I just think, hey, man, when you're in the holidays, man, you do holiday stuff, man.
I agree. I still have to go ugly Christmas sweater shopping for my side of the family, but I know that's more universal. Last year we got exact matching PJ sets for Beckett and Baylor, Beckett's cousin. This year it's still kind of up in the air. We're still trying to figure that out. Apparently sister-in-law went ahead and pulled the trigger on some. but they're purple. And
For Barney?
Well, I'll have to show you later.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's Christmas. We can't do red and green. Is it really that hard? Even if it's not the exact same set. Like,
Hey, a sale is a sale, brother.
but I'm
Purple
not putting my two kids. They'll have two by Christmas. I'm not putting them both in purple.
You look good on you. You just take one picture and you take it off.
This isn't even like Vikings purple. This is like Northwestern lavender, like in their basketball alternates purple, like Kansas State lavender. That's what I'm talking.
Ooh.
And I'm not putting my kid in that.
Yeah, it might be kind of tough. We got some text though. Text here from Insightful Dude. Said, what if Rule leaves for Penn State and the Bengals fire Zach Taylor? Then Nebraska can hire Taylor to be the guy to make Nebraska football great again. He's young enough that he could be here for a long time. That's a lot of ifs. I mean, that's a lot of forecasting when we got a game in like 72 hours.
Insightful Dude, you're part of the problem. You're part of the media causing distraction.
No. It's I get it. I mean,
but let's play this out. I think Taylor's still respected enough around the NFL that even if he's a quarterback coach for 3 or 4 years, he'll be an OC in 5 years after he gets fired if he doesn't go there right away, and then probably a head coach again.
The Bengals are playing decent right now.
Yeah.
So you got Joe Flacco. He's like 80 years old, man. He's still rocking.
Do you hear his comment from today?
What do you think?
It was something that I had it and I just scrolled past off to see if I can find the exact quote again. But it was like, yeah, whenever I used to come to a new city and I saw these people just sitting alone at the lunch table or at a bar, I used to feel sorry for them. Now I realize that was actually heaven. Get a quiet moment to eat your lunch in peace.
Joe Flacco's the dude.
He looks a little bit like Simon Cowell. I finally placed it.
Yeah,
the American Idol judge.
Yeah. Joe, and he don't shave his neck either.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta give him credit, man. You get traded in the division, go to there, and just come right off the bench, 300 yards, and played well the week before. So being professional is a lost art, and he's definitely, if there's ever an example of, he had a really interesting quote. He wondered after, I guess being benched, or essentially just. You just got, hey, if you're not starting out 4-0, we're going to bench you in Cleveland. And when you get benched in Cleveland, it's like, I can't play anywhere. He was wondering if he ever was going to have the feeling that he was going to start again. Then he gets traded, and next thing you know, you're starting. So you just never give up. And when you get a chance, you got to make the most of it, whether you're in college or the pros. There's going to probably be some guys at Nebraska, back to, where we're at that, might get some playing time or got looks in practice. Based on injuries or, guys not, maybe meeting the expectations or the standard. So when you get your chance, make the most of it. You never know what you can do with it and take it, wherever you can and never let your guard down, both as a team, but as a player. And, you got people, we can go on a tangent. You got people calling for TJ Lateef and all this. No, that's not the answer. We understand the most popular guy on every team is the backup quarterback that shows that he can play a little bit. And sure, the sacks, right? I'm just going to let you know the deal on sacks. And the reason why I know this is because I was privy to being on the team in Houston where David Carr got sacked, and still maybe an NFL record. You can check 82 times, right? And one of the things that I realized was sacks are a offensive stat.
Oh, this is a fascinating list. Okay, the official record per Pro Football Reference, David Carr, his age 23 season, got sacked 76 times.
Oh, it's only 76.
According to this. I've heard the number 81 thrown out there a few times.
It was 80. Well, at least it was on the draft that time. Yeah.
Either way,
76.
between 76 and 82 sacks.
Yeah.
Guess who number 2 was?
Joe Burrow?
No, it's a guy from the 80s that you wouldn't necessarily think of in this conversation.
Joe Montana?
Randall Cunningham. Got sacked 72 times and 86 with the Eagles.
But you were playing the Giants and at that time, the Redskins.
Okay, and then Jay, tied for third, David Carr again in 2005, got sacked 68 times.
Yeah.
Tied with Caleb Williams in his rookie year last year.
That's a lot of beating, a lot of sacks. Now, some of them are sacks that where the quarterback runs out of bounds and you're the closest guy and you're behind the line of scrimmage. And the reason why I know those is because we played Pittsburgh one time and I know Joey Porter. And in the first quarter and a half, he had 3 sacks. I'm like, how? Now, he sacked David Carr in the first play of the game. chased them around for 2 other plays, and they were behind the line of scrimmage. He's like, I just got me $1 million bonus.
For being close.
For being close, because he got over 10 sacks. And
Close
so,
only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and quarterback sacks.
Yeah, so, I mean, my learning experience was sacks are not all on the quarterback. They're not on the offensive line. They're not all on the receivers or running backs or tight ends. It's the offensive a stat. And so right now, you know, Nebraska just got to get a little bit more efficient on offense, or a lot more efficient, or just play better. And sure, you want to blame the offensive line, you want to blame the quarterback, but ultimately, you know, that's low hanging fruit. That's not how you win. And what you do is you get better. You get better at knowing the details. You obviously show up ready to play. Some of it was a little bit of circumstantial, of like Rocco getting hurt. You can't control that. And then Pritchett getting a penalty,
which he'll be out for the first half.
Will he be out the first half?
I assume so.
Well, I thought since he did it in the first half of that game, this last game, it would happened in the second quarter, that'd
be huge.
Then he would be able to play. But either way, somebody's got to be ready to play. There was a play when Iowa played Indiana of a guy doing the same thing, and refs just letting it slide. So, you know, I think the struggles were maybe masked a little bit of the comeback, but ultimately everybody needs to play better. You know, when you lose and you don't play up to your potential, and maybe haven't been playing as consistent as, you know, anybody has liked over the season.
I was wrong. He's good to go.
Yeah, I think because it was early enough in the game. You know, everybody needs to play better. Everybody needs to prepare better. Everybody needs to understand you're playing in the Big Ten now. Every play is like of importance. There are no plays off. Possessions are going to be down. You know, there's a lot on the line for both teams. You're going to get their best effort. So, you know, show up ready, you know, for a physical game. Plus, it's football. This is always going to be a physical game. You're here at Nebraska. This whole university has been built on physicality. The reason why some of you guys are here and getting paid is based on physicality. It is cold or colder. So, you know, buckle up and get ready to get after it.
Okay. You mentioned that it can be fewer possessions. And so I'm not going to give you specific circumstances, you know, or certain plays, but generally big picture, 30,000 feet. In a game with fewer possessions, and Nebraska is in your extended red zone, 30-yard line and in. And it's 4th and manageable. Let's say 4th and 4 or less, hypothetically inside the 30. In a game with fewer possessions, are you telling Nebraska, trot Kyle Kinnanen out there, kick the field goal? Or because you get fewer cracks at it, see if you can keep the drive going and get a touchdown later?
Well, I think a lot of those decisions are, you know, obviously I'm not Matt Rule, but I think it's a lot of decisions are based on how the offense has been playing. You know, you've been efficient, you know, you don't have any like procedure calls and all that. You know, you got to take the wind into effect. If the defense have been out there, how the defense is playing, then ultimately, you know, what the kicker is capable of doing. And that's where you take you know, you got the confidence from Coach Eckler. He'll tell you he can make this and go from there. But, you know, I think the possessions become less, they become extremely less, and the game becomes shorter and condensed when you don't play with the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can keep around the same possessions. You're not going to get to Houston Christian where you're just like, they're going 3 and out point. You know, you're good.
Right.
Within reason, you can keep the possessions on target. What your goal is, if you're being more than efficient on offense, defense, and special teams, and especially offense and defense. So really playing more efficient and more effective, and obviously more physical, and knowing your why and all that stuff, the details and whatever they're saying, you know, don't overlook an opponent and all this stuff. And, you know, whatever you have at your players only meeting, you do all that, then you just go play football. It's easy to say because we know the answer. The hard thing is being able to do it and then having everybody do it, you know, at the same rate and being invested. And so that's what they're trying to get back to, you know, before Saturday. And it's a big task. Northwestern's a good team. You know, you got to have the confidence and build your confidence back up. You're a good team. You've done everything you need to do. You know, forgave yourself, but you didn't forget, you know, against Minnesota. It's not the end of your season. It's definitely disappointing because it was a way that you could get 2 victories out of that, right? You get the 6th win of the season. You essentially win a bowl game, mid-season bowl game, playing on Friday night. Everybody's watching. Change your perception. Probably move up in the rankings. Well, now you know you didn't do that. Now you let yourself down. So now you got to understand, okay, now we got to get back to it. And yes, you can't, and also what you can't do. you can't pout about having to work twice as hard to get back to where you were at. And once you accept that challenge, then the fogginess becomes a little bit more clear. And then you're willing to really dive in there and get after it. So anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this bad boy. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here a roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
You're invited to a Halloween karaoke party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards on October 31st. Stop by Madsen's from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. for live music and a live podcast, costume contest, poker, and of course, karaoke. Admission is free, and there's still plenty of TVs to catch the Friday night college football games as well. That's 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday, October 31st for the Halloween karaoke party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holder.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details, you take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through October at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines. Or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by a qualified standard rate for another 36 months. Whether you're thinking of this year's harvest or planning ahead, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Chorizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Chorizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schwizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, New School way. Putting Minnesota to bed and on Northwestern on this wacky Wednesday, Whiteboard Wednesday, White Boy Wednesday, Black Shirt Breakdown, and whatever else you want. No Win Wednesday. Anyways, the middle of the weekend is officially to turn the page. And so, like I said before, I think this season is going to be a 12 single chapter. It's going to be a book of 12 single chapters. You're going to be, graded on each chapter. And some have a lot in it, as far as the nuts and bolts, and some is not so much. And not so much. One would be the Akron and Houston Christian. And then you get a little bit more, when you think about Cincinnati, Michigan State, Maryland, then obviously, that was probably the apex of then you say, oh, we're just going to bring you back down to Minnesota. So now this is the redemption, part of the redemption, story. And so Nebraska has a lot of opportunity. I mean, they have an opportunity. They got 5 more winnable games. Not easily winnable, but definitely could win all 5 or next 5 of the games. The most important game is the next one. And so, like I keep saying, very rarely do you get a chance to get your get back right the next week. Very rarely do you get to stub your toe, whatever you call it, embarrass yourself, let yourself down, whatever it is, and then still have every goal that you had preseason to be very attainable. And so they have that. And the best way to attain that is, number one, is recognizing what didn't happen and rectifying it, and so it doesn't happen again, and then really doubling down and taking advantage of your opportunity. It's one game, one day at a time, 1 week at a time, one game at a time, and you get a chance to really, really change some narratives around your program and your offense and defense, starting with Northwestern.
Did you catch what Matt Rule said about, you brought up the Indiana game. He did as well. Did you catch what Matt Rule said changed from Indiana to Ohio State last year?
Mm-mm.
He said his players did a really good job of distilling that game down into not 11-on-11, not Nebraska versus Indiana, but one-on-one.
One-on-one. It is.
What's my job? Who do I got? Who's got me? Let me go win this round.
Yeah, and
here's the test. Do it again.
Yeah, and when you break it down, because a lot of times when you lose and you play really bad as a team, the easy thing is like, I didn't play as you see this a lot in basketball. As long as I'm only the third crappy kid, I'm still starting. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you got 8 guys on the roster. Well, then I'm in the top 5 Dookie players. And so what you have to do is really win your one-on-one battles. And what do I always say? Operate individually, think collectively. You do that, it's the ultimate team sport, and you do get some satisfaction of winning your one-on-one battles. You get the ultimate satisfaction if you play good defensively. You get the super satisfaction of winning the game, which you do against Northwestern. For my man, Austin Orman, Jay Foreman, we'll holler at you tomorrow.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, areas of frost this morning. Otherwise, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light breeze, the high near 66. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds, the low around 38. Tomorrow, areas of frost in the morning. Otherwise, mainly sunny with light winds and the high near 65. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Cobble Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1